Hello, I'm Burt Reynolds. Here's a rare interview from my archives. I hope you enjoy it.
Well, Gator McKlusky is sitting on a stump with the hammer pulled back on a 12-gauge pump, watching that swamp, looking out for the law. Well, it makes the best corn that you ever saw.
Thank you. This is my singing debut, and I'm thrilled to be here. I think it's going to be terribly exciting. Sinatra is shaking. I always knew I could sing, but nobody else did. I figured it was time that I've tried everything else, and I think you ought to try everything twice because you might have had a headache the first time. And a friend of mine named Bobby Goldsboro talked me into doing an album. Went down to Nashville, and I had a lot of fun doing the album, and I think I surprised not only Bobby, but I surprised myself a couple of times. Room for a Boy, never used. That's a cut from my new album called Ask Me What I Am, and the song you just heard is A Room for a Boy, never used. We didn't do the album quite honestly to prove that I could sing. The album is what they call a concept album, and I had some things that I wanted to say. You can't say them on the Tonight Show or in a newspaper article sometimes. I mean, people kind of take out the things that they want to take out and hit the highlights, and usually some of the things that you feel the most are never really laid out for the people, and they never really get to know you. And I found myself in the last couple of years listening to Chris Christopherson, not to hear him sing, but to hear what he had to say. And I thought, well, why don't I just do an album? And maybe if even a couple of people that are fans of mine, or not fans of mine, either way, listen to it, they'll come away from listening to the album and know me a little better, which is kind of important to me. Well, when we were trying to find the cuts for the album, I came across a song by a fellow named Dick Feller. Not this particular song, but it was a song about relationship between a man and his son. And I want a kid very badly, and I've tried to adopt one the last couple of years and had run into all kinds of problems. This was an idea that I had in my head, and I called this guy, Dick Feller. And he was on vacation. And I said, this is Burt Reynolds, and I'm a big fan of yours. And he said, where the hell do you know me from? And I said, I heard this song, but you did. And I said, I want to tell you about an idea. So I told him the idea. He said, man, I'm just up here letting my beard grow, and I don't want to write anything. But he said, that's a fascinating idea. Let me think about it. I just knew by listening to the song that I heard from him that he would jump on the idea. He called me back the very next day, and he said, I think I've got something. Told me the title. And I said, yeah, you're on the way. One day later, he came in and handed me the song. And when we went in to record the album, I was a little uptight about singing, naturally, because I had never sung before. And we did about, I guess, 4 cuts singing. And we got to this particular cut, which I don't sing, I just talk. And the band was there, all those great guys from Nashville who are really laid back and great bunch of guys. And I went in the booth, and they played this, and I did it first take. I came out of the booth, and they were all applauding. And I said, I think I better do it again. And Bob said, well, you crazy? Well, that's it, one take, and that's what we did. I was nervous before I got there. They made me feel absolutely wonderful. It's the greatest bunch of guys I've ever been around. And, you know, I would come out of this booth having gone in there thinking, well, I'll do the best I can, and come out, and I would hear all these comments, and I thought, well, you know, you guys don't have to say that. And they say, no, we really mean it. You know, they'd just done Elvis and Chris and Bobby and 2 or 3 other people about the week before. And by the time it was over, we'd hang in there till sometimes 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I did the album in 2 days. By 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't wait to get back in the booth. I said, come on, I want to do it, you know. I was really having a ball. I had more fun making the album than anything I've done. The beginning, the first cut on the album is Childhood 1949, which is the time I grew up. Goes through early childhood, first love, thoughts about religion. Then it has some thoughts about, oh, you can't always sing a happy song, which of course is true. Success, how do you handle success? And then finally, wanting a kid, you know, settling down. And I didn't shake the world today, did you? Which, of course, is true. And then at the end, Last Love. There's one controversial cut on the album, which, of course, if everybody that knows me well, and I wanted to have one cut on the album that everybody said, you know what that so-and-so did? I thought it would be fun to shake people up a little bit. So we did one cut on the album that made people talk to themselves a little bit. She's Taken a Gentle Lover. The idea of that was that when I was going through all the different songs in Nashville, the title struck me immediately. And this was one of the few songs in the album that wasn't written especially for me. And the gal that was there from Tree Publishing said, oh, you don't want that because nobody will touch that song. And I said, why? She said, well, it's a great song, but you know what it's really about? And I said, no. She said, well, it's about a guy who loses his girl to a girl. I said, let me hear that song right now. I played the song, and unless you listen to the words, unless you know what the song is all about, it sounds just like losing a girl to a gentle lover. And then when you hear the lyrics, it takes on a whole new concept, and it's beautifully written. I'm sure that a lot of people know that Hey Jude, which was a fairly successful record, was a million seller, was the same thing. Fabulous cut. You listen to the words, and it's kind of interesting.
Love can be wonderful, complicated, exciting, and painful.
That was She's Taken a Gentle Lover from my new album, Ask Me What I Am. And this is Burt Reynolds. Well, one of the things that's happened to me in the last couple of years is that I've taken on a whole kind of image with the public that whether it's right or wrong, it's too late now, and I have to live with it. A lot of people have decided that they're for me or against me, not because of what I am, but because of what they think I am. And the song says so many things that I really believe in. Don't ask me what I'm going to be. Ask me what I am. Don't ask me where I'm going. Ask me where I've been. I just think it's a beautifully written song. It's not the best cut on the album by far. I think that I sing much better on two or three other of the songs, but the lyrics of the song and what the song represents and what the album represents, it just had to be the title of the album because that's, in essence, that's what the whole album is. Ask me what I am. No, it was surprisingly quick. The album we cut in 2 days. What took the time, of course, was finding the songs. There's 9 songs that were written especially for the album. One song that was kind of a standard country song. Well, it was a tremendous success for Tammy Wynette. I want to keep on falling in love till I get it right, which again, I'm crazy about the title. And yeah, well, we try to do that like a standard rather than as a country song. The writers, the talent in Nashville is unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you go in there on a Friday night, and if you wanted to, by Monday, you could have an album finished, and with 11 original songs. Everybody's a songwriter. Everybody plays the guitar, and they are so laid back. You know, you walk into some guy's office, and there's a guy with cowboy boots with horse manure all over him, and a guitar on his back, and a motorcycle out front, and he sits down and picks and sings, and when he leaves, you say, who was that guy? And they say, well, that guy wrote the Green, Green Grass of Home, and he owns half of Nashville, you know. No, I was raised on country music, which is a great title. I give a great title. Hank Williams, all those terrific songwriters that came out of that period. The Cattle Call, Eddie Arnold. I was born in Georgia, raised in Florida, and I really and truly love country music. I'm so happy that it's finally happened. This album is not country music. I mean, it's not, it's certainly not a country album, but it does do what Bobby Goldsboro's albums do. It makes that cross, I think, between, well, Bobby's songs are played on country, they're played on easy listening stations, and they're played on pop stations. Yeah, and the thing I love about country music, and always have loved about it, being an actor, is that the songs have a beginning, a middle, and an end. I mean, they tell a story, you know, and from an actor's standpoint, that's a lot of fun. Well, this particular cut is Tammy Wynette's hit, Till I Get It Right, and according to the consensus of one lady singer that I know, this is the best singing job that I did on the album. Again, I did this in one take, and because I'm crazy about the song. I love what the song says, and I love the way it's written. Red Lane co-wrote the song, and Red, of all the writers in Nashville, was the one I got to know the best, and certainly knows me the best. So, well, till I get it right.
I'll just keep on falling in love till I get it right.
I'm gonna keep on falling in love till I get it right. This is Burt Reynolds, and I'm happy to be with you. Yeah, I am pleased with the album. You know, I'm not trying to say that I'm after Mr. Sinatra's place in the recording business, and I think my voice is somewhere between Roy Acuff and Chris Christopherson. But for what the album, for what we set out to do, which was the concept album, to tell people a little bit about what's inside my head and what I'm all about, yes, I am pleased with the album. I think it's a very well-produced album. I think Bobby Goldsboro and Buddy Killen did a fantastic job lining up the musicians, getting the songs, and I'm very proud of the album. You know, these days when you're being exploited so much, and I go to a hotel and I see my face on a pillow slip, and I didn't know it was going to be there, and people are bootlegging pictures of me that, you know, that's my head, and, you know, have been superimposed on some stupid thing, and you don't know anything about them. Your name is bannered around in jokes and this and that, and you somehow get the feeling sometimes that you're a loaf of bread or something. And it's nice to have an album come along that really and truly is, I think, a classy album. The packaging is classy. The photographs, we spent a lot of time picking them. It's just a nice album. And whether it's good or bad or whatever, I'm talking in terms of my singing, it's a damn good piece of artwork. It's you know, I have no kick about the fact that it was put out too quickly, or that anybody took advantage of me, or that it was cheaply done. Yes, I am proud of it. I don't know what else to say about it. Exactly that. And whether I ever do another album again or not, I'll always have, you know, I think instead of sending out bios from now on, I'm going to send out the album. Yeah, I really would love to do a musical. I was offered a musical that I have, you know, it hasn't been written yet, but it's based on the book Semi-Tough, which I'm crazy about. And I don't know what's kind of music is going to come from this book, and what the lyrics are going to be like or anything like that, but I'd like to take a shot at something like that. It would be great fun for me, and again, it would be such a departure from everything else I've done that I would really love to try it. What really helped originally when Bobby Goldsboro and I decided to do an album, I went down to Nashville, and Buddy Killen, the head of Tree Publishing Company, which is one of the biggest in Nashville, sent out the word that Burt Reynolds wants to do an album. Well, of course, songs came in that were so ridiculous, and some terribly funny and some very good, but none of which I wanted to do, you know. And there were 108 centerfold songs, and some were fun, some were good, but nothing to do with what I want to do in the album. And everybody was so off base with what I wanted to do that when we came up with Ask Me What I Am, we only had to play that cut, and everybody realized, well, oh, that's the way he wants to go. And from then on, we were back on track again. And Paul Hampton, who's an actor, wrote Ask Me What I Am, and he also wrote another song on the album that is one of my favorite cuts on the album. It certainly isn't a very commercial song, but I really like the song, and I like what I did with it. There's a slight misunderstanding between God and man, and he wrote those two, and both of them, as a matter of fact, we would play for songwriters, and boy, they would just grab their pencil and run out the door with a whole new attitude. Yeah, well, I thought it would be dishonest to do an album about one's life without mentioning not only your first love, but the first time that you had a sexual experience with somebody. The title is mine. Red Lane and I were sitting there talking, and I said, you know, the first one that I lay with was not the first one that I loved. And he grabbed his guitar and said, whoa. And we sat around picking and singing for a couple hours, and out of it came this song. The song is kind of self-explanatory, but the title may cause a few disc jockeys to rip a few needles out of their boxes there. It's called The First One That I Lay With. That's a track from my new album, Ask Me What I Am, and it's called The First One That I Lay With. I had a lot of fun talking about it, and I hope that some people that think that they know what I'm all about will get the album and listen to it, and especially the people that have a very negative position about where my head is at. Maybe they won't listen to the album and like me, but I think they'll know me a little better, and I think that's important.
I got bedtime stories I've never told. Songs I've been keeping aside. One walk in the sand. For one boy and one man.
No, she didn't. I didn't want her there when I did the album for obvious reasons. I don't think she'd want me standing around as she was acting, because it'd probably make her very nervous. But we got to the last cut on the album, which is a song that we had written and I picked out especially because of my relationship with her. I've often said that we fell in like. You really have to like somebody in order to have any kind of a lasting relationship. You can fall out of love. It's hard to fall out of like. And it was right in the middle of the song, singing the song, and I heard this voice, which is pretty unmistakable. And I looked over, and there she was singing along, and she's never done harmony before. And when the cut was over, guys in the booth were jumping up and down, and so we bill her in the album as an unidentified friend. It's a cute cut. It is a very sweet song, and there is this unmistakable voice that comes falling in the end of the cut. The name of this particular song is very appropriately called "I Like Having You Around," and I do. People keep coming and knocking on the door here, and they say, "I drove all the way from wherever." And I've worked 12 hours and I'm tired, and I want to say, well, yes, but I didn't ask you to drive all that way, but they don't seem to understand that. So you rap with them a little bit, and before you know it, there's 4 more cars out in front of the driveway, and you're doing a personal appearance. And through it all, they're saying things like, it's people like us that made you, And of course, they don't realize that it really wouldn't make a tinker's damn if you said, look, I'm tired and good night, and go on back in the house. I mean, you and I both know that Cary Grant never signed an autograph in his life, and he did all right. But I like people, and it's kind of fun. I think you go away from meeting somebody, whether you talk to them for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, with a little bit of them, a little piece of them, and I think that's good. Yeah, it's funny. It seems strange in some ways, and yet in others it doesn't. I feel like I've come home. I grew up in Florida, so I really had sand in my shoes rather than red clay between my toes, and there's a great deal of difference, I think. But the moss on the trees and those red brick roads in Savannah, and the accents and the people knowing you. I mean, just coming up and asking you to come and have dinner with them, and the whole Southern charm thing I like very much. The false Southern charm I hate with a passion. And there's nothing worse in the world than somebody who's all teeth and eyeballs and who really doesn't care a damn about you. And unfortunately, that's also part of the Old South, too. I think that where you have to be polite to everybody. When I got to New York when I was a young actor, I realized that you don't have to be polite to everybody, and life is really too short.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified about new videos and original Burt Reynolds content right here on the Gator McKlusky channel.